nice Marcus and welcome to an episode of Tabletop Reviews, where I am back with some more Ticket to Ride content. Ticket to Ride London this time, the last of the small box games. And well, so far they're of course probably going to release something soon. I'm hoping, because last year they came out with a sort of a Nordic themed, right? Northern Lights. I'm hoping to one day maybe see Copenhagen version of this one to kind of get more Danish themed, or just, you know, Nordic themed, because obviously we love that. We don't have much of that here in the Nordic parts. We don't really have that. We have the game Copenhagen, and that's about it. But London this time. Let's quickly get it to the table and set up and play it. Alright, let's grab this tiny box. Let's just do it quickly. This is the same as every other Ticket to Ride, so if you want an in-depth look, you just gotta go to one of the other ones. Rules, all the rules out the way. Let's set up this tiny little board here. Bam. Alright. Alright, so first of all, let's just have a quick look at these cards here with some lovely oranges, greens. That's the locomotives of this card. Submarine there, we've seen the blue on here. The orange. Some very lovely artwork on these ones, very different. You can basically turn it like this, you can somewhat read it. You probably can't see it from where the camera is anyway, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so the same as always, bam! 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and that 5. Bam! Yeah, you know the rules of this one. Alright, the tickets. So this one you actually start off by receiving only 2 tickets. Oh, by the way, of course, each player gets 2 cards. And in this one you will do, in fact, as I say, start off with receiving only 2 tickets. As always, you can choose to keep both of them, or to keep only one. I'd part Covenant, I don't know. Let's just have both of these on hand just for the sake of it. Of course, color, I'm only going to bring out the red one because I'm only going to show examples, but every player will of course receive these ones. Start your little score brick, and also notice this one. Lovely little, I can't remember any of the other ones with it's like this, but it's, you know, it's obviously the British flag in there, very nice. The Union Jack, as it is called. Don't recall any of the other ones having sort of, it's not called fashion, that's what I'm about, lines and stuff in it. They're usually just a brick, you know. So that's nice, that's a nice touch. I just wanted to show that. Anyways, so it's the same as always in every other one. You can, on your turn, you can either draw 2 cards from here, from top of the deck, or 2 that are visible, depending on what you want to do. If you want to risk it all or something, you can draw up 2 new tickets, and you must keep at least a minimum of 1 of those. Or you can place down cards down here. So let's say you have 1 yellow, fits right there, bam. Gray, of course, any colors. Here would be 2 of any color, 4 of any color, 1 of any color, whatever. In a 2-player game like this, these double lines, only 1 would be available. Also in a 3-player game, I don't believe it's until 4 players that they open up. We usually always play with them open. That's sort of a house rule, just have them open because we want friendly games. But if you want the proper rules and a proper tight game, these are closed off, so making it a bit more difficult. Of course, when placing down, 1 would give you 1 point, but the examples of points over here, 1 gives 1, 2 gives 2, 3 gives 4, 4 gives 7, and it will always show any distance, so there are no lines bigger than 4. And of course, at the end, scoring would be any card that you have completed would give you this amount of points. Any card you have not completed would give you this amount in minus points. And the bonus score of this London game is these numbers that are on here. So here and there's a bunch of 4s, there's some 5s, 2s, some 1s. If you do connect every single one of a number, so let's say I had it here, for example, because this is very simple, I would get 1 singular bonus point. But let's say I had made, just put them up here, this way around here. Well, actually I believe this is enough, because you connect all the 4 dots, so we get the 4 bonus points, and you could kind of move, you know, this way here. To try and achieve that 3 bonus points down here as well. So yeah, would you achieve those bonus points? The one of the player with the most amount of points at the end of the game is the winner. Man, this can really be set up very quickly. I think I've done too many Ticket to Ride videos, but it's genuinely always the same, as you know. So let's get back to the table, talk about it. Well, back to the chair. It's not back to the table, it's back to the chair. Alright, that's the setup and gameplay I've done as quickly as possible, because it's the same setup as always. It has been a while since I've talked about Ticket to Ride, because I've actually been through all these games and reviewed them. Sorry about that. But this is another map, another one. Boy. Another one to add to the list to rank the maps someday in the future. But for now, let's talk about London. So obviously, it's the small box games. They work best at like 2 or 3. You can play 4 players with most of them, but like I think, first of all, I think these are travel 2-player versions. You can add a third if you get a guest or something. We often bring one of these ones on a travel with like and my mom. We've gone camping with her, and we bring one of these ones, play a 3-player game of them, and it's perfectly fun. But I think these do best at like 2 players, 2-player variants of it. So, but that's just my opinion. Of course, they work perfectly fine at 2, 3, or 4. Like all Ticket to Rides worked amazing at all player counts that they talk about. And of course, with recent years, every game needs a solo variant. Ticket to Ride still haven't really come up with a solo variant, and I love it for it. Because Ticket to Ride is not a solo game, and you don't need to make it a solo game. Some games do work out, they are solo games. I would say Distill down here, the new game, it works as a solo game. Yeah. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about gameplay. Let's talk about gameplay. I mean, gameplay is still Ticket to Ride. It's the small box Ticket to Ride. I don't know, this one felt a little bit like, oh my god, we're close to the end. I don't know if there's less like, well, bosses in this one that there are in the other small box games. It sort of felt that way. It sort of felt like it was more tight, and I was like, oh my god, this game is over soon. I need to get completed my stuff. I don't know if I just had a few bad game experiences in the sort of that I have gotten some bad routes or something. It just felt like, it's over very soon. I need to do this, and I don't think I completed more than 4 routes. So, while it's these other games over here, I do feel like I have time. I can reach it. I can manage until like the last few turns. I'm like, okay, they're closed. Now I need to finish some stuff. This one felt like that after the first few turns. Like, I need to get some stuff done here. I don't know if I just had some bad games, or maybe that's just general London, that because there's less bosses or something. I haven't counted. I wouldn't imagine so. It just kind of felt that way. It's not negative. It feels like it's over very soon, which is the bad good thing about this. Talking about that is 2-player variants almost. The good thing about these games is that they just go that quickly. And talking about that, I talked about Splendor Duel in a recent episode, or is it the next episode? I can't remember. It's part 7 that has uploaded, or part 8 which is uploading next Monday. We're talking about Splendor Duel and out of part 7 and part 8 of 5 games I've played. We're talking about that it didn't need to be only 2-player. And that's where Ticket to Ride London comes in. It is strongest at 2 players, but it doesn't need to just be 2-player. It works perfectly fine at 3 or 4. And that's why I said about Splendor. It could just be Splendor, American Market, and like work best at 2, but have the ability of 3 or 4. I think that would have worked very well for that one, strengthened it a bit. And that's why I love these games, because they work best at 2 players. I definitely think that. But they work perfectly fine at 3 or 4 as well. You can just upgrade. And also in the overview of this one, I mentioned the 2 lines, where you usually in 2 or 3 players you can only place one of the trains, and then 4 or 5 can place both of them. I talk about the fact that usually we play with them open all the time, even in a 2-player games. I don't think I've talked about a lot of this before. Because we want a nice experience playing Ticket to Ride and not so much in each other's face. And I know that that's quite different. I know Tom Basil disagrees with me on that one, of course, one I watch a lot. And some other people within it disagree on that one and like it be more competitive and be more crunchy. But we usually play with them open, just because then we have a nicer game experience. It's more fun for us. That's sort of a house rule we implement. But I have, of course, played it by the rules. I play all games, try and play all games by the rules. And it works perfectly fine. It is, it is a nice game. You're just having, your hygge, the Danish word, I'm from Denmark. It's just hyggeligt, hyggeligt. Or then you have, a bit more of a competition. You're trying to be first, which is where Europe comes in with its stations, and being like, okay, you can force a player into giving up 4 points, basically. So yeah, but these games don't have that. So yeah, gameplay, it's a Ticket to Ride, right? Components, as well, I always like them. These ones have the small cards. They sort of fit thematically, and that these are smaller, right? And you have the bosses in this one, lovely. All these plastic miniatures are just lovely every time. And of course, as I say, the point markers have the Union Jack on them. Fashion. I'm always about to say fashion. I can't remember the word. Münster. What the fuck is the word? I can't remember the English word for that one, and I don't want to check it up because I need to remember it on my own for my self-esteem. But yeah, so those components, I think they're a little bit upgraded from what they usually are, but as always, it's just a lovely bit of Ticket to Ride components that I've grown to love. I have grown to love. These are just so simple and good. The map is always, it's a thinner on this one, but it doesn't feel thin, right? Like it doesn't feel like low quality, which it's a little bit lower quality because it's thinner, but it doesn't feel low quality. I don't think it is lower quality just because it's thinner. I think that's bullshit to say, actually. Yeah, sorry about that. So it's still good. I'm sitting like all forward here. Am I right in the face of the camera? I have no idea. So let me try and lean back a little bit as well. Thematically, I mean, this is not buses. This is, this is not trains. These are buses. And I think I've talked about in some of the other Ticket to Ride is it works really well because it is trains. But these ones sort of proved me wrong. But no, because these are in the cities and are still this public transport thing with the buses. So I don't know. I should stop trying to defend Ticket to Ride from being an overly thematic game, because it is not. It is just a brilliant game, and the theme just isn't really there in any of them. So yeah, does it lie to you? Obviously, it's 2 to 4 players, and no, it doesn't lie to you. 2 players is better, but 3 or 4 works perfectly fine. What else does it say? 8 and up, 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes depends a lot. On a 2-player game, a 15-minute game is nonetheless. 3 or 4, I think you're going to find it be 20 minutes, or maybe 25. So stretching that one a little bit. 8 and up, again, like, I think that's the brilliant thing about these ones is they're very much more inclusive. So as I say, if you are a family going on a trip, bring one of these ones, play with your 8-9-year-old in a family 3-player game. That's why these are so brilliant and work really well. And you have Splendid Duel on the side to play a 2-player game, if that's what you want. But no, you don't need to ring on that game. So that's so it works fine, you know. But again, I think you need to play other games with your kid, and games need to be a part of your life, right? When I have a kid, probably 8, right? Because gaming is going to be a part of their life. But I don't think my brother, who well, actually my sister, who is she's 9, my brother is 12. So my sister who's 9, maybe I couldn't play with this with her because she hasn't played a lot. She doesn't really play with me, unfortunately. That's complicated, but she doesn't really, you know, play a whole bunch with me. So that, you know, I don't think she would be in this one. But yeah, in that way. Unfortunately, she doesn't play a lot with me. So yeah, what is my score going to be? So I pretty much give all of these small box games an 8, and I'm going to stick with it here. I think one of the reasons, and I will talk about this in a second, because I think I'm going to do a ranking of the small box games. Because I need to rearrange. So do that live with me. But one thing about some of these small box games, this one included, is the extra scoring is on the map, and it is quite lucky. Alright, in Amsterdam, it's the outer circle of the map. If you don't have routes leading out there, it isn't really valuable for you to complete this lines out there if you're not going to collect the thing, and a person who has more outer rim routes is going to fill that in and get more bonus points than you. You have this one where you have these big routes, and I try to complete some around the 3 and the 1 to get those bonus points. But sacrificed a bit of my route building whilst my fiance played in our first game, completed her routes and got a few bonus points on the side as well, and she won. So it's, you know, if you complete a route where bonus points just are achievable, then you are going to get more points. So it's a bit lucky. San Francisco is a bit less of that one because I haven't checked all of the routes, but it feels like basically all the routes go right next to or are part of the extra bonus positions. And therefore you're probably going to go to them and collect quite a few bonuses and get those bonus points, and it's a competition to get the most. New York is the least because the bonus locations are everywhere on the map. Basically everywhere. You cannot complete a route without going through a bonus location, and therefore it's just about completing as many routes as possible, so that luck element just toned right down. So obviously I'm keeping this one, I'm keeping all the ticket rides. And as I said, let's do a live ranging of these ones. And you probably guessed it by what I just said. Bam! New York on the top. I am upgrading New York to a 9 out of 10. The other 3 are still 8s, but New York I'm upgrading to a 9 out of 10. Because it's way less prevalent on the luck, so you're just trying to go as much around New York as possible. It sort of has this theme of just traveling, being a visitor in New York and going to see all the things, and you're going to do that with basically every route. And therefore, thematically, it's actually better. So yeah. But as a pre to the board ranking here, but obviously you can always see some of the ranking because these games here are ranked. Ticket to Ride Rails and Sails at the bottom, Ticket to Ride here, Ticket to Ride Nordic countries, Ticket to Ride Europe, they're already ranked. You can see that in my videos here. But you probably also guess by the rating that I give them. So it's a little bit of sneak peek for when I complete it. I might actually, throughout this month, get more of the games. Well, not this month because it's still March. Next month, April, I'm probably going to get a few more games to review. I'm hoping to do my ranking of the maps soon, rather soon, hopefully. But we'll see what life, throws a spanner in the works. Who knows? Anyways, thank you much for watching this episode of Tabletop Reviews. Another Team Night reviewed. On the next one. Bye.